To continue the conversation, we're being joined by the Special Advisor to Kano Governor, National and International Public Relations. We have Mohammed Jamu Yusuf. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning and good morning viewers from all over the world.
All right, talk to us about the importance, how important this is. And I ask because we've seen several issues in the country that maybe should have pushed a number of people to the streets. For example, inflation. Food inflation is at about 40%, and we haven't seen this huge number of people in the streets. So talk to us about the importance of the seat of the Emir and why it has led to this protest from the supporters of the different sides of the divide.
Yeah, thank you so much. You see, before the colonial era, have had is a traditional institution. And for more than 1,000 years, the Kano traditional institution of the Emirs established, it has been part of the governance of our people over here. Palaces, when they have issues of disputes, either it is a land issue, either it is a matrimonial issues, several other issues. And the Emir has always been someone who has come to the aid of people based on advices and things like that over the years. So people are attached either emotionally and from all perspectives to it. And during traditional festivities too, like the Dorba, Salah Dorba and the rest, the Emir used to adorn the horses and they come out on the street and they ride and the people come outside to greet their Emir. So it is part of our tradition, it is part of our culture for several years. So the respect people have for this emirate made it happen in this way. A lot of people are emotionally attached to it, and if for any reason something comes that is going to alter that system of governance, definitely you will see people coming out to protest in that particular regard. And it is not only about the tradition too, even the religious aspect of it too. The emirs are custodians to the activities of religion. Most of the clerics in the city, they come to pay their respect, and the emirs always come in to advise the clerics if there are any other issues which are tangling. So even from the perspective of religion too, the palaces and the emirs are highly revered and viewed with that, even the spiritual perspective to it.
Mr.
So this is why you see all these things happening.
Yeah, all right. Let's just, also move forward. Your principal, the Kano State Governor, of course, went ahead to reinstate Lamido Sanusi, of course, also ignoring a court order asking that they maintain status quo. Tell us a little bit, at least what you know about why, he has done this, and of course created all the drama that we're seeing in Kano State.
Okay, let me be clear with you here. The process of amendment of the laws governing the chieftaincy and Emir Council here in Kano, bill or rather act, started with the State Assembly. The State Assembly did all their procedures, the first reading, second reading, third reading, and they passed the bill. During this whole procedure, there was no order from the court. And when the State Assembly finished their own exercise, they transmitted the bill to the office of the governor of the state. And His Excellency Ado Bayero Yusuf, the governor of Kano State, received the bill and assented his signature to that bill. Up to the point when he assented his signature to the bill, there was no court order. The governor, after he assented, he addressed the people of Kano State, announcing the dethronement of the 5 emirs and appointment, or rather reappointment, of His Royal Highness Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, or Mohammed Sanusi II, as he is properly called. And up to the point when he made this announcement, there was no court order until after the whole processes have been completed. In the middle of the night, on social media, we started seeing court order flying around. We know the process. If there is an order and you happen to be a party, a respondent in that particular issue, you are supposed to be served that court order. And if you are served the court order, somebody must acknowledge receiving that court order, and who served you will have his own copy of that acknowledgement. If you refuse to receive the court order, maybe you evaded the court order, the bailiff of the court will be a witness, and he will be the one who will go court and tell the court that you are evading service of that court order. And then the court will then, through substituted means, say, go back and paste it either on the wall of either the government house or any other place that is involved, or print it on any of the national dailies, or go to the social media and publish it there. So up to today, as I'm speaking to you, the Kano state government, that means the state assembly, the executive arm of the government, the office of the attorney general, up to now, as I'm speaking to you this hour, no one has been served this court order. No one has seen this court order apart from the order that we saw on social media. And then let me tell you one very surprising thing. This order was signed by a very respected judge, Justice Liman. So this justice, as I'm speaking to you now, the information which we have is that he is on vacation. He is even outside the shores of Nigeria. So we are still wondering, how can a judge who is on vacation and outside the shores of Nigeria be serving a court order? Is this court order true?
Okay.
We have to be served the court order before we can even be able to be in the right position to say there is a court order. As we speak to you today, no one can tell you that we have cited the court order through the proper means that it should be served.
Now let's go to the rationale behind this. We know that in 2020, when Lamido Sanusi was deposed by Ganduje, he was deposed on allegations of corruption and several other reasons. What was the rationale, the government's rationale, for deposing Aminu Ado Bayero and appointing Lamido Sanusi?
Okay, let me tell you, when I began my discussion with you here, I told you that the Emir Palace, or rather the traditional institution of the Emir here in Kano, was established more than 1,000 years ago. It was not just established by a fate of one person. We never had state assembly. We never had the current system of governance that we had now. So it was established through wars, through a lot of battles. A lot of battles, a lot of wars, a lot of lives were lost towards establishing the emirship or the kingship or the kingdom as whatever the name is. All these processes took place, and for more than 1,000 years it has remained so. So it has become part of the heritage, part of the history that we all grew up to know. This is part of the heritage and history of Kano State. So in 1983, Alhaji Abubakar Rimi of blessed memory attempted balkanizing the Kano State emirship and creating four other kingdoms. When Alhaji Sabo Bakinzo of blessed memory came in as the governor of Kano State, he did the same thing. He kicked all the emirs away and maintained Alhaji Ado Bayero as the only emir in Kano. Although even though that time we had Hadija, we had Gumel, before Kano was divided and they were moved out of Kano State. So even now, it is the history of Kano that was distorted by this balkanization into 5 emirates. So it's like doing away with our own history. And we felt that this is not the right way to do it. Once you have an history, it is something, once your past is in conflict with the present, then your future will suffer. So we don't want the future to suffer when our kids, our grandchildren and the rest are going to be told about the history of Kano. We want to at least preserve that history. And for that reason, the balkanization of the Kano Emirate was restored to its lost glory. One emir for Kano State.
Let's also go back to 2020 when the balkanization of the Emirates into the 5 different Emirates happened. What was the reaction of the people of Kano? Were they pleased by it? And I ask this because right now we're seeing people who are protesting, asking that Sanusi Lamido, steps down and that Bayero, of course, be reinstated. So these people, it would seem that they were pleased by the balkanization at the time. That's why I'm asking. So what was the position of the citizens then, and what is their position now?
The position of the citizens of Kano State, you see, Kano people are law-abiding people, and over the years, they have matured in the way they approach, not and for that particular reason, they only prefer to go through the legal laid down channels of doing their own protest against why it's done. And a lot of that was done. A lot of people spoke out against it. A lot of people kicked against it. Then when it happened 4 years ago. This time around, why you are seeing all these things, you can never have two kingdoms. You can never have two kings or two emirs in one kingdom. When Alhaji Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was appointed as the new emir of Kano State, he came into Kano State. Some people who prepared and brought Aminu Ado Bayero back into Kano and gave him cover to be in Kano State, created the avenue for all this pocket of protest that you are seeing. But even as I speak to you now, the number is inconsequential, and the security have been doing quite a lot to contain whatever is happening at that place. So I'm telling you, if we are to talk about how people have protested way back, more 4 years ago, against the balkanization of the stool of the emir of Kano State.
All right, and also, just a last question. Do you think that there are forces beyond Kano State that are involved with, all the drama that we're seeing today?
Beyond all reasonable doubt, definitely there is, because when you look at it, someone who has been dethroned and just flies back into Kano in the wee hours of the morning with a backup of military and a lot of security, of course, there is something definitely behind it. Who is behind it? We are not sure, but we are still making our own investigation. And once we are done with the investigation, the world bringing tension in Kano State.
Yeah, and also, you said earlier that you hadn't received a court order. If the Kano State government today or this morning receives that court order, will it align with what the court has said? Will it maintain status quo? And of course,
once we receive the order, if today the bailiff of the court serves us the order, what we saw, if it is that same order that we saw on social media, what it says is status quo ante should be maintained. Status quo, as we receive the order, His Royal Majesty, His Royal Highness Sanusi Lamido Sanusi is the sole emir of Kano State. That is the status quo.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We'll, of course, look forward to having you again.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful having you too. And I wish you the very best. Enjoy the rest of the day and have an amazing Monday.
You as well. Thank you.
Because we